Hey guys, how are you doing? I was actually going to post a replay analysis of a mid player, but I actually didn't have the time to finish editing. So while I was just browsing the internet, I actually found this really fucking great article about playing mid, and I wanted to share it with you. So what I'm going to do is link the actual post in the description if you want to read the full article. It's not an article, it's an AMA from a 7K MMR mid player, and he actually posted this in the Learn Dota 2 subreddit. So if you don't know the subreddit, it's actually a really good subreddit for improving your technique, learning different stuff. It's really good, and the people there are really participative in helping players and etc. So if you're trying to be good at mid, I probably suggest you to read two things: the Check's Guide for Solo Mid, which is a little bit outdated, but it still has a lot of important stuff that you have to know to get better, and this post, because basically people ask questions about playing mid or anything they feel like it, and this guy answers, and he goes really in depth with his answers. They are really long, and I mean, they are gold. They are gold for anyone that wants to be better at Dota. Seriously, just go and read everything, because I hadn't everything that he talks about is really meaningful and really important. It's probably the best Reddit post I read about playing Dota in my entire life, so I really recommend you guys to read it. So well, anyway, let's start. The first question is: if you're losing mid, may be getting outplayed, may have a hard matchup, whatever it may that is causing you to lose, and your safe lane is also losing, do you recommend trying to salvage the lane and get some XP and gold where you can, or going to the safe lane, assuming you have a hero that can actually do something, like a puck, etc., and try to help them there, essentially giving their mid a free lane and taking a lot of tower damage for it? Well, I'm not going to read his entire answer because it's really big, but he actually divides this answer in two important things. So basically, it's a tough call. It really depends on the heroes, it really depends on how far you are and your ability to measure how far you are. But to him, the best answer when you were losing your mid is to actually ask your support to go and gank mid. Because if you're not really far behind, you're probably going to have time to get more CS, you're going to get gold, the enemy will not be getting gold and will lose gold when he dies. So it will kinda even out the advantage that he got from out CSing you, out harassing you, and etc. But since we are playing pubs, usually maybe your support won't be able to gank, or his gank might not be successful. So what do you do then? His answer is just choose the easiest lane to gank. So if your team is against a dual offlane that is strong, it's better to not try to gank that lane, because you were already behind, and if you die, you kind of amplify this difference that you and the enemy mid laner are going to have. So just choose the best lane to gank, of course the easiest lane to gank, and try to get some kills, because that will kind of get the ball rolling for you. But at the same time, if you're 5 or 10 CS behind, don't try to get if you can't gank any lane, or all the ganks are kind of hard, maybe you should just stay in the mid lane, because you're going to get tower damage, you won't be getting any less hits. So it's just better to stay there, try to get some runes, have a TP in your inventory, and keep playing the game, even though you are a little bit behind. With Tinker slowly back in the meta, how do I lane against him as a hero without a long-range nuke such as TA or Quap? So his answer, again, is divided in two parts. Basically, Tinker is really strong right now, and it's really hard to solo 1v1 against him. So the first thing you have to take a lot of care is to not underestimate his damage output, because it's really big. And the other thing is, he's saying that most of the thinkers right now are not going for the March of the Machines full farm build. They are going for the maxed laser and max missile build. Well, what that means is that they are banking their game in actually snowballing and getting kills. So just don't give him kills, because then he won't be able to farm. And a good way to shut him down is to actually ask for ganks from your support. If he is going for a March build, you have to, one, as soon as he leaves the lane to maybe get stacks in his jungle, you just push the lane, because then his tower will kill creeps and he will kinda exchange the stacks that he's making with lane creeps, and that is not always a good trade for him. And the other thing is actually ward his jungle and try to gank him when he's going to get the stacks, so you can get a kill on him and farm the stacks as well. The next question is, how valid is a silencer mid? And basically his answer is silencer is not a really good mid, because to him a good mid needs to be good in team fights and make the enemy team play scared. And while silencer has a good team fight ultimate, his cooldown is really long and he can be easily ganked in the mid lane, and he has no way of actually coming back. He farms the jungle really slow. I think he's better suited for safe lane carry or support. Not a good mid hero at all. Well, the next question is, what do you do when you're playing 1 versus 2 against the enemy? And his answer is, again, like divided in 3 parts. And basically, if you have good supports, ask them to gank the mid lane, because even though you might be playing against a Lich that is denying a little bit of your experience, you will probably have more levels than both the enemy and support that are in the mid lane. And with the help of 1 or 2 supports, you can probably score a kill. Well, now if you just have a jungler and your other support cannot gank the mid lane, he says that just don't feed, okay? Get as much experience as possible, get the safe last hits, and just don't feed. Because as the answer I gave in the question about when you're losing the mid, what you should do, if you just feed, you're amplifying the difference between you and the enemy mid in gold and experience. So just get the experience you can and get the farm you can, and just accept that some matchups are not meant to be won, especially when they are 2 versus 1 matchups. Now, he actually mentioned some heroes that are good against 1 versus 2s, or at least they are not as bad. And he mentions Wind Ranger, Queen of Pain, Puck. And when you have these heroes, you can kind of abuse the bad positioning of the supports, maybe when he's going for the runes, or maybe when he's trying to harass you, he takes too much time from the creeps and you can get kills. But just do that if you're really confident you can get the kill, because again, you don't want to trade your life for the enemy support and actually die to the enemy mid after that. It's just a subpar trade that you don't want happening. Well, the next question is, any mid newbie friendly hero recommendations to get the basics of playing mid? Almost pure support player here, hardly core, doesn't need to be meta heroes, just good mid heroes. And his answer is pretty straightforward actually. He says that there are easy heroes that you can play in mid, but they don't actually teach you much about playing in the mid lane. And these heroes are like Dragon Knight and Zeus and maybe Magnus, because even though you can kinda get away with playing these heroes without not being a good mid player, you're not going to learn about controlling the creeps, you're not going to learn about rune control and less hits with right clicks. So what his recommendations are heroes that are not overly complicated, like Wind Ranger, Queen of Pain and Puck, but at the same time they have a high skill ceiling. But you can play them and actually get the hang of how playing it. Well, the next question is, what are some tips for a 4K player? And again, his answer is divided in a lot of different points. His first part of the answer is actually not mid related, just about playing the game. And it's actually something kind of that everyone knows but never does, that is just focus on your play. Even if you feel like you deserve to win and someone 0 and 10 in your team just feds the whole game, don't flame him. And know that you probably made 1,000 mistakes, and if you didn't make some of those mistakes, you could probably win. He feels that he makes lots of mistakes even being a 7k player, so you as a 4k player makes lots of mistakes. Maybe you don't want to admit you make them, maybe you just don't know you're making these mistakes, but they are there. So try to focus as much as possible in how improving yourself. Now, the second part of the answer is actually very interesting, and I really liked this part of the answer because I identified a lot with it. He actually mentions the Invoker versus Queen of Pain matchup. Basically, his answer is learn a lot about different matchups. When you can go aggressive, when you should just farm, when do you have kill potential, when you don't. And well, I'm going to expand a little bit on this Queen of Pain and Invoker matchup. Well, when I was playing a lot of Dota before my video card exploded, I didn't play mid as much, only when I was the highest MMR in my team, and my go-to hero was always Queen of Pain. But at this particular time, Invoker was not nerfed, he was like the Ultra Cancer levels of Invoker. And it was so fucking frustrating because after level 3 you have no kill potential at all, you cannot trade hits. And basically what he says is that when you're playing as a Queen of Pain, you need to harass and just fuck his game as much as possible until level 3. Because after that it's just really hard to harass him, to trade hits. And this is a power spike. Until level 3, Queen of Pain is stronger than Invoker in most cases, if he's an Exort Invoker. Now, after that, he will out-CS you because he will have Fort Spirits and you just can't outlast him if he's a good player. But at level 6, you have the chance to kill him again because you have your Sonic Wave. So basically what he says is, if you don't just harass him a lot and kinda throws his game a little bit until level 3, and then if you don't kill him at level 6, he will just grow so much and you won't be able to keep up with this Invoker. So if you can't just out-CS him, out-harass him until level 3 and then you just can kill him, go for ganks because he will farm more than you, he will get kills with his Sunstrike, and you need a way to keep up with him. And well, it will not be by farming the lane, because he will have much more attack than you. So you have to go for ganks, you have to maybe ask someone to gank mid for you. And well guys, I just selected a few of the questions that I thought were really insightful and had really good answers. But well, my accent is kind of bad, and if you're, I don't know, from United States or Canada and you have perfect English, it will probably not be the best video, and you probably are not interested in seeing a South American dude just vlogging about Dota. So please check this fucking post. It's really good, it's really insightful, it has a lot of good things to read about, and I really recommend it. Well, besides that, I just want to say that I will be uploading videos, if not daily, almost daily in this channel, and I want you guys to keep watching. So I know it's kinda annoying, but please, if you're watching until this part, give it a like, just show this video for your friends, and I really want this channel to grow, and I need your help for it. Of course, I have to make good content, but I think that if you're watching this until now, you probably liked what I showed you. So please, if you can, support me a little bit, and I really appreciate it. Thanks guys!